Hi everyone, Scrappy Kathy here with Mixed Media Mayhem, and I think I'm going to be full on creating some mayhem here. First of all, I'm doing the recipe is for paint, stencils, and embossing. So I'm going to do this scrap lift. It's day 9 of the Scrap Squad 12 Days of Autumn scrap lifts. And it's a giant, it's actually a hexagon cut file with a big cluster down here in this corner and a smaller cluster up there. I don't have such a cut file, but I do have a stencil. So I'm going to use a couple stencils. I have a hexagon stencil, a big old hexagon stencil, and I'm going to lay it on first. And I'm working, because I'm going to do embossing, I'm working on this Ken Oliver mat, because unlike the Tim Holtz mat, it doesn't buckle or, when you use a heat gun on it. So I'm going to tape it down because I really don't want it to move. Oh, look at me. I'm at the end of a washi tape roll, and I kind of hate that because I love that washi tape. But I have some other washi tape around, I think. I'm not seeing it. I have my narrow washi. So I'm just going to wing it unless I can dip down in here and find some. No? Okay, let's just go without it. So I'm gonna position this here, and I'm gonna do I have a world map. This is a Scrapping Reflections stencil. The hexagon is from Redefine Creative, from Christina Sorge. So I'm going to lay this on here, and I'm going to use matte medium to hold my embossing powder. And I'm just going to brush it on, kind of, maybe not fully covering, it, so that it kind of ends up looking like an abstract world map. And I'm going to use white embossing powder. What I'm going to do is let this be kind of a resist. I'll do the white embossing powder, and then I'm going to brayer on some paint on top of it, and then kind of wipe it off so that I get the resist effect. Okay, and while that's still wet, I need to do the embossing powder. And I'm going to take this off as well. I'm going to use it again. So now I'm just going to pour like my whole bottle of white embossing powder on here. And I'm going to kind of shake it around and see if it sticks, see where it sticks. I can see that right here it wasn't wet enough to hold a whole lot of it, and that's okay, because if I'm gonna go with something of an abstract look, that's fine. It kind of gives me an outline anyway. Okay, so you can kind of see what I'm gonna get there. Okay, that's all off. And I got some on my mat, and I really don't want to emboss it. I don't want to melt that powder onto my mat. So I'm gonna get that, tap that into there as well. And just to be sure, I'm gonna turn the mat over. Okay, now I'm gonna dry this. Or melt it, wet it, melt it, whatever we're gonna call it. I'm gonna emboss, do the heat embossing now. And I apologize for the noise. I bet here is where you wish I did edited video. You probably wish that all the time. Okay, it's beginning to melt. And in a minute, you'll see what I'm kind of planning to do with this. The paper is buckling a bit. I did not use Vicky Bouton's mixed media foundations paper, and I'm probably going to be sorry. This is a good thick white cardstock, but it isn't that thick. And then, so I'm going to have kind of thick paint on there. Let me get that. You can kind of see it, the embossing coming out. I like the way it looks because that medium doesn't hold it solidly, so you get kind of some striations, some brush marks in a way, and I like that for this purpose. On a really nice greeting card, I wouldn't. I would want something more solid, or if I were doing words, you know, text, or a detailed image. And as for what kind of embossing powder that was, I do not know. I bought a kit one time that had a bunch of little bottles like that in different colors, and it was a kit for you to actually draw a picture and do an art piece with embossing powder. This is really exciting, I'm sure, kind of like tuning into YouTube to watch paint dry, but instead you're watching enamel melt. I should maybe have done this beforehand. In fact, I may restart the video. Or I could just leave it and you can fast forward to where there's actually something going on. And you see what I mean by the striations, the kind of brush mark, and I love that effect. And I think that's it. So you can kind of see that it's a map. You get the impression of a map without, you know, being able to read cities or anything. So now what I'm going to do is put this back on. And here's where I really need it to stay in place. And I'm going to in this same little tray, mix up some, get this where I can't dump it on the floor. I'm going to mix up some of this paint. It's called texture paste, but it's just a heavy body paint. It's Vicky Bouton's latest, and this color is Spearmint. And I'm going to put it down in there, and there's already some medium on there. I'm going to mix in some gesso to lighten the color. I don't want a whole lot of contrast on there, and I think the lighter color will go better with the colors I'm using. So I'm going to mix that up a bit. And again, this isn't, I'm not going to go with, I'm going to brayer this on with a textured brayer, and I'm not going for full coverage on it. Let's see where I can put this down. I'm creating all kinds of little storage spaces all around. Okay, now I'm gonna do this. I'm not sure about this at all. We're going to kind of go across like that. And I'm kind of trying to create that dotty sort of look. And it's creating these little stripey things. I'm just going to go all around and just let it get all over. And then I'm going to take a baby wipe and kind of I'm blending the color, but I'm also cleaning the map areas so that you can see them, and that with the resist, get this a little bit cleaner here. And I really want some of these details, like the little Australia here, to show, because it's kind of distinctive, and that's in an area that I think is not going to be covered by my clusters. Okay, so there's my hexagon. And I can see over here, I've lost some of the straight lines, and that's okay because I'll show you what I'm going to do. I'm going to kind of somewhat mimic a cut file in that I'm going to use some white, very narrow washi tape, just kind of defining those straight lines just inside the line. And I'm just going to kind of tear the tape like that. Not going to worry that it crosses over. A lot of that will be covered anyway because of the cluster, but it's kind of a messy world-scape. I don't know if that's a thing. And I'm hoping that with the white tape on, and then once all of the other stuff gets on, it ends up looking a bit like something that colored outside the lines of a cut file. You know, when you do a smeary look underneath and then blend your, you know, and then place your cut file over it. Okay, so let's get back to, I think, I forget where the bottom and the top were. Oh, I do need to have the map right there. That tells me the bottom and the top. And I'm just gonna leave these tails of the washi tape out there. Okay, now I have done a little bit of the cluster building work. This is the cluster that I was going to use down here. I thought about using this. Let's see if that can work. I'm using, this is about my craft room, which is basically my whole little basement apartment that I live in. And this photo shows, this is my desk where my computer and my printer are. This is a row of bookshelves that hold, right here's my markers, and then I've got some albums there, and then there's my kitchen. And so you can see the Texas cutting board and the pans and the dish drainer. And then over here is my rainbow storage for my papers that are not part of a collection. And then I've got other storage for specialty papers and some more albums down here. And then you get way down to the end of the room where that door is and a shelf. That's all kind of just right that way where I film. This is the end. This door right here is to a little bathroom, and then the dining room's around there, and the living room's there, and the television's on. And I've got my little sewing area of the table, and then this is my little crafting, scrapping, filming area of the table. So this is my crafty, happy, crafty little world. And so I thought I'd put that in there like that, but I need it to be high enough up that this doesn't go off the page. So I'm going to glue this down. And the embellishments are mostly coming from I'd Rather Be Crafting by Echo Park, and Let's Get Crafty by Simple Stories. Now, let's see. I have foam on the back of the photo, and then I have some foam tape, and then I have all kinds of other stuff to add to this little scenario. Now, I guess I'll do the photo this way so that the photo is wonky. And I'll just end it right there, and I'll leave this out, kind of sticking out there. And then I've done another cluster for up top, which is kind of meant to represent where my head is, where my head is at, as they say, with all this crafty stuff kind of in it. And I'm going to build onto both of these clusters with some of the smaller things that I have, but I kind of wanted to get them built in case this took a while to dry. But I didn't brayer the paint on very heavily. Okay, so I'm going to need a piece of paper towel. To clean my hands. Okay, in my little bowl of goodies, I've got this bowl of goodies, I've got some alphas, and I've got this sticker book. So maybe I should do the title first so that I can so that I know where it's going to go. Let's see. I think what I wanted to say is my happy, scrappy world. And so I've got the word... Oh, okay, the words happy and scrappy here. And so I just need my and world. So let's put those down. Okay. So I don't know if I want it there or here. I think I'm going to go here because if I did it here, it would completely cover up that map. So I'm going to do happy, and there's plenty of room for my, and scrappy, and that way I don't cover up Australia. I can't do that because Di would never forgive me. I have a few Aussie friends. Let's see. So now I'm gonna do my, and what colors do I want to use? I'm gonna use this. I'm gonna ultimately have every color in the rainbow here. So I'm gonna put this M and then Y. What color will my Y be? I'm gonna go for a purple Y. And now world, I'm gonna start with this blue. I hope I can get, I should start with the D. Let me start with the D. I'll do this blue D, and I'll start it right there. And then I'll do a pink L and a purple O. Whoops, I need an R. Silly me. Let's go with the green R. And I need to straighten the L. And where's my W? What I was gonna use this kind of turquoise. Maybe I'll go with a yellow instead. My happy Scrappy world. Okay, and I'm actually loving that background. I debated whether to maybe cover it up and or stop the video and go do something else. I'm gonna do a paper clip right here. Let's see, I want the heart there. And then, let's see, I've got a paint splatter flare right here, which seems appropriate underneath the, and a lot of these, most everything here is fussy cut. And I have a paint of red. I've got a pair of scissors that can go there. Let me get a little bit of foam. And pretty much everything, all the embellishments that I have on here are just like really what I have going on in the room, which is kind of fun. A trimmer I thought would go nicely on the side here to kind of begin the wraparound effect. And it's just a perfect color to go. I actually matched the color to that kind of the color that's in this trimmer. And I'm gonna go right there with a flower. I may move it if I want something else there. I have this cute ruler, and it's kind of a joke because I never measure anything. And, you know, sometimes I probably should. I'm gonna just let it, see, I told you I'd probably move the flower. I'll let it go right there, and then I will put the typewriter thingy, whatever one calls a typewriter thing. And I know someone's gonna tell me in the comments. It'll probably be Sally. Let's see. I have this little stamp. It can go there. It adds a little pink. And I've got another stamp that can go up here. Like that. I have a tube of red paint, which kind of goes with that red splat. And I'm gonna put that down there. And let's see what else I have. Let me just lay all this stuff out. Take it out of the bowl. Isn't that a pretty bowl? I got that on our cruise. I've got the blue paintbrush and tube of paint that I'll hold off in reserve there. I have this little floral that can be right here, and it's just exactly the perfect color for that. This is Keep Calm and Sew On. I've got this. Which I'm gonna just kind of slide in under there. I've got a cute little flower, and I can maybe put that, let's just put it right out there. And I have a Bramble Fox button, which is perfect. It can go where? Like right in here. And let's see what else we have. Oh, I have a pin cushion, and I do have a pin cushion on my desk right there, and it has those ball top pins for my to cap my glue. Where does the pin cushion want to go? I'm going to put some foam behind it and put it down and here's a pin that needs to go in the pin cushion. Put it right here next to the dress form. Okay, I've got some scissors. I have scissors up top there, so I need some down here. I thought I wanted this craft time to maybe go down there. I'm gonna do the scissors right across the flowers and hanging over, and maybe then I'll like the craft time under there. Did I not glue those? Okay, that's gonna put that there, and then I'm gonna put something else to kind of bridge that little gap. Let's see, I've got this little heart, which might work. I can put it even kind of like that. Those are at the same height, and I didn't want that, but I'll still use this to bridge across them. Let me pick up some of that glue that's down there. I'm hoping you can see what I'm doing. This little guy also needs, well, actually what I'm going to do there, let's see, is maybe put something like that. The other thing is too much the same shape. And I'll just let that sit lightly there. I have some tags here because sometimes when you're building clusters, tags are good bases, but I don't think I'm going to use those. I have a pencil here, which could maybe go along with the ruler, but I don't want to cover too much of it up. Let's see if there's any place up here that I could use it. I could maybe use it. Wish I could figure out a way to make it look like it was over her ear. You know, not that I've ever done that. I'll put that there and then find something pretty to put there, like a flower. And I've got a little heart that I want to put there. Let's do some foam on one side of the flower. And we'll do it like so, where it's up on the chipboard there and then still held down. Okay, so now I have this little bucket of supplies, which could maybe slide in under there. And I'm just intentionally, you know, over embellishing, which is kind of, I have this thing that says crafting is my superpower. And for me, it's over embellishing is my, a specific field within crafting called over embellishing is my superpower. So I'm going to put this little button down here, kind of, I have a little tiny clip. And I'm going to put it by, oh, that would be, it would be great to put it at the top of the craft time. So how about I do it like so. And then I have a stapler. I guess it goes, it's meant to go this way, actually. I'm gonna kind of put it right there. I have a little ink pad that I'm gonna sneak in right there. And I have a glue gun that I'm gonna put some foam behind. I could not be happier with my background. You get the idea of a map. I'm gonna put this maybe under there and up onto there. I've got a little valise here. It's meant to be holding a cutting machine, I think. And I don't really see a good place for it. Maybe there, kind of like a tab. And let me take some small embellishments. Here's one that says, okay, here's a little heart. And I'm gonna go ahead and put it right there. There is, there's a circle with a heart here. I'm gonna put it there, and I'll put this one here. And I'm gonna add this little thing that says, yes, please, right there. And I have this little stack of boxes. I don't know that I have a place for it to go. Let's just put it right there, why don't we? If I've cut it in anticipation of this layout, by golly, I'm gonna use it on this layout. I do not need to use that, and I will not use these two blue paint flares, but I do like this crafting is my superpower. It seems kind of bragging, braggish, braggadocious-ish, and I suppose it is. Ooh, there's a little paper clip. I'm gonna put the paper clip somewhere. Ooh, on the crafting is my superpower. Let's do that. And that will look like a little, it's a little note I tacked on at the last minute. I've got this pink paper clip, and I don't really need it, so it'll go back in the bin. And let's see from the sticker book if there's anything that I really need to use. I love the abstractness of the map. I like the camera. I'll slide it in under the paint. I've got a little tub of paint, a little jar of paint, and I'm gonna put it over here because I used paint on the page. I have a few circular goodies here. I've got another little orange heart that could maybe go right there. And I've got this gold one that could maybe go somewhere down here, maybe like so. And let's see if there, oh, here's the little word strip I wanted to use. It says my happy place, and that seems to be appropriate. But where do I put it? I can maybe slide it in. That doesn't cover much in the photo. I just want to make it parallel there. Okay, and then there's one strip that says, "They call me Crafty," and this is Eat, Sleep, Craft, which is perfect because of the fact that my entire apartment is my craft room, and I do eat and sleep and craft in it. I've got, well, let's just do that. Let's use that. And I'm going to put it up here. Let me make sure I get it straight. Gosh, that's heavy. Okay, and I'm done. So there's my Scrappy Grungy hexagon and brayered on dotty paint, and then a bunch of crafty stuff. So thank you for watching. This was fun to do. I was scared, and yet I think I'm happy with it. So bye.